We keep hearing how important it is to vote. Voting was a hard-won right that should be embraced. Of course, democracy also gives citizens the right not to vote. But have you ever wondered what might happen if everyone stopped voting? What would happen if the people in government no longer listen to you? Would they want nothing to do with you because they don't need your vote to stay in office because no one bothered to vote? With that, what if they then decided they have no interest in your future? Would they do what was right to stay in office? The size of the explosion that ripped through the port in the Lebanese capital Beirut has shocked the world. Some 300,000 people have been left homeless, at least 150 were killed, and thousands have been injured. But what do we know about where and how it happened? Unlike many Arab countries, Lebanon is not dominated by one strong ruler. Instead, it has a number of leaders and parties with sway over the country's various sectarian groups. Positions are apportioned by quotas among 18 officially recognized sects. Parliament is half Christian and half Muslim. Protesters say the system has kept the ruling leaders in power indefinitely and allowed politicians to put their own interests above those of the state. The protesters' demand include not only removing the elite, but also overhauling the system. Lebanon's economy has one of the world's largest debt burdens, all as a result of years of inefficiency, waste, and corruption. While GDP stands at $55 billion, the national debt is around 150% of GDP, $85 billion. Unemployment among young adults under 35 runs at 37%. For several weeks now, Lebanon experienced a new type of theft, parents stealing milk for children, food products, and medicines just to stay alive. This time, the human suffering was caused by government neglect. The port explosion was caused by the detonation of a stockpile of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrates. No clear explanation has been given as to why this explosive cargo was stored for more than 6 years in an unsecured site near homes. Lebanese President Michel Aoun rejected the principle of an international investigation into the explosion, saying instead that it could have been caused by a missile or a bomb, rejecting any responsibility. This is one disaster too many for the Lebanese, after the economic crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. Lives were taken at random simply because of the negligence of the authorities. Protesters are demanding a complete government overhaul, but unfortunately, no alternative political leadership or real opposition to the ruling parties exists. During the last legislative elections in Lebanon, the first in 9 years, more than half of the Lebanese did not vote. Two reasons for this: rejection of the candidates and discouragement of a fair government. But today's episode is not just about the chaotic history of Lebanon. It is about American democracy. World history is decided by governments and their place in this world, and it is we who choose our representatives. It is we who write that history. As the world's leading power, the United States has a crucial role to play. Choosing its leaders is fundamental for so many reasons. By voting, we can stand up for the issues we really care about. Pick yours: public transportation and infrastructure spending, affordable healthcare, minimum wage, climate change, LGBTQ rights, funding local schools. How about your right to choose? Not voting is giving up your voice, and not voting leaves the power in the hands of a politician to act in his/her own interests. Your voice is your voice on your issues. Elections have consequences, and we have the power to decide on the quality of life we want for ourselves and future generations. Make sure your voice is heard.